Let's now do question 9. In question 9, mosquito net is given and it has a hole at one corner. Now we need to find if fly sits and diagonally opposite upper corner of the net. We need to find the magnitude of displacement of mosquito, and if we take the hole as the origin, length of the bed as x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So this is the 9th one. First of all, the displacement vector that is given according to the question is 7i cap plus 4j cap plus 3k cap, because in x dimension 7 is there, 7 in the x axis, 4 in the y axis and 3 in the z axis. Now for the first part, the magnitude of the displacement, so it will be quite simple. The magnitude will be root 7 square plus 4 square plus 3 square, which will give you root 74. And the component of the displacement vectors for x and y and z axis, so it is quite simple. 7 for the x axis, 4 for the y axis and 3 for the z axis. Okay, so we have taken whole as the origin, and by that we are finding x, y, z. In question 10, suppose there is a vector of some magnitude. We need to find the vector, same vector but multiplied with a scalar number. 10th one. So vector A is 4.5 due north. So A part, if you multiply this with 3, so nothing will happen to the direction, only the magnitude will get multiplied by 3. So it will just be 13.5 towards north. Similarly, when we multiply by minus 4, so along with the magnitude, the direction will also change. So it will be minus 4 into 4.5 due south. The direction change if minus is there. So you can, in short, you can say that it will be 18 due south. Either you can say minus 18 due north, or you can say plus 18 due south. So the minus sign changes the direction as well. In question 11, we have two vectors having some magnitude. Angle between them is also given. Scalar product of two vectors is we need to find, and the magnitude of the vector product also. So this is the 11th one. The magnitude is 2 meter and 3 meter, and angle is 60 degree. So the dot product is quite simple. It is AB cos theta. So it will be 2 into 3 into cos 60 degree, which is 1 by 2. So it will come out to be 3 meters square. And B cross product's magnitude, so it can be found out by A B sin theta. 2 into 3, and sin 60 is root 3 by 2, so it will be 3 root 3 meters square. In question 12, we have A1, A2, A3 and so on. A regular hexagon is there. We need to write the x component of the vectors represented by the 6 sides taken in order. So we need to write the x components of all of them, and we can use the fact that resultant of this 6 vectors is 0. Okay, so we need to also prove that cos 0 plus cos pi by 3 plus cos 2 pi by 3 and so on will add up to 0. So this is the 12th one. Now it is given that the sum of all of them will be 0. So it can only happen when the magnitudes of all these sides A, B, C, D, E, F, let's say 6 sides are there. So the magnitude of all the sides is equal. Only then this can happen, that the sum becomes 0. So let's say the sides are r into x for the x component. Okay, then a cos 0 plus a cos pi by 3, because we know 60-degree change will be there in a regular hexagon. A cos 2 pi by 3. We would have written B, C and D, but as all of them are equal, we are writing only A. A cos 3 pi by 3 plus A cos 4 pi by 3, adding 60 degrees, plus A cos 5 pi by 3 equal to 0. Now we know that this magnitude is 0, x component resultant is 0, so this Rx will be 0, so 0 will be equal to let's take a common, so cos 0 plus cos pi by 3 plus cos 2 pi by 3 and so on. So we have proven a will go down, so it will become 0, so ultimately cos 0 plus cos pi by 3 plus cos 2 pi by 3 up to cos 5 pi by 3 will add up to 0. In question 13, we have a and b vectors. We need to find the angle between them. So in the 13th one, vector a is 2i plus 3j plus 4k and vector b is 3i plus 4j plus 5k. We need to find the angle. So by dot product we know that a dot b is ab cos theta. So cos theta will be a dot b over ab and theta will be cos inverse a vector dot b vector over ab. So once you put all the values, so a dot b will have I into I, j into j and k into k. Over their magnitudes, so the magnitude of a is 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square. For b it is 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square. So once you simplify this, theta will be cos inverse 38 over root 1450. This will be your answer. In question 14, we need to prove a dot a cross b is equal to 0. So this is the 14th one. We need to prove that a dot a cross b is equal to 0. So now let's say how. We know that a cross b will be equal to ab sin theta n cap. So this vector will be perpendicular to both a and b. Perpendicular to both a and b. So when you will take the dot product, this will be perpendicular to both a and b. So if a and this has 90 degree, so what we will have, we know that a dot b is ab cos theta. So the angle between them is 90 degrees, so cos 90 is 0, so therefore this will become 0. In question 15, we have two vectors. We need to find a cross b. So this is the 15th one. So in order to find a cross b, we can use a matrix method. So put ijk values like this, first for a, then for b. Now do multiplication as I am telling you. So first for I, so when you are trying to find for I, just forget about this part. So cross multiply them. 3 into 2 will be equal to 6, then minus 3 into 4 will be 12. So after this, let's try for j. So let's now for this take minus sign, first plus sign then minus sign alternatively. So remove this part, j part completely. Okay, so ultimately what you will have, 2 into 2 and 4 into 4. So it will be 2 into 2 is 4 minus 4 into 4 is 16. So this part. Then lastly for k, so again take plus, so plus minus plus, okay, alternatively. So again remove k part, so you will have 2 into 3 and 4 into 3. So it will be 2 into 3 is 6, 4 into 3 is 12, minus, there will be minus here. So after simplifying this, you will find minus 6 I cap plus 12 j cap minus 6 k cap. So this will be your cross product. In 16th question, we have A, B, C mutually perpendicular. We need to show C cross A cross B cross, C cross A cross B is equal to 0. So first of all, this is question 16. So we have to prove C cross A cross B is equal to 0. So when you will do A cross B, so you will find AB sin theta n cap, and this n cap will be perpendicular to both A and B. So now if you will do C cross n cross, C cross n, so this is already perpendicular to A and B, and obviously C is perpendicular to A and B. So this will be, they will have 0 degree between them. So we know that it will be, the cross product is AB sin theta n cap. So this sin theta, theta will be 0 for them because both are perpendicular to A and B. So because of that, this will become 0. In question 17, there is a particle which moves on straight line with some speed v, and now after certain time it is at point P on straight line path. O is fixed point. We need to show OP cross V is independent of position P. So this is answer 16. So first of all, we have A, B and C, they all are perpendicular to each other. No, here we will take OP and V, so not ABC. So first of all, let's say that this is O, let's say this is P, let's say here it is Q, and there is this point P dash. And we have this motion, okay, the particle moves from P to P dash. The angle here is theta and the angle here is theta dash. Now a particle is moving on a straight line PP dash at speed V. Okay, so from figure we can find OP cross V. It will be OP into V sin theta n cap. Now if you look closely, sin theta will be equal to OQ over OP. So OQ is equal to OP sin theta. So this will become V into OQ n cap. And similarly you can see the same thing for OP dash. Okay, so it is clear that wherever you are, the OP cross V will be independent of the position P. The magnitude and direction will remain same, so it will move in a straight line. In question 18, the force is given and suppose E is along x axis and B is along y axis, where E and B are the electric and magnetic fields. So we need to find in what direction with minimum speed V should a positively charged particle be sent, so that the net force on it is 0. So we need to find the orientation of charge so that the net force is 0 on it. 18th one. So we know that the force is given by QE plus QV cross B, and we want this to be 0. So this means E will be equal to minus V cross B, or E will be VB sin theta. So the direction of V cross B should be opposite to E. Okay, so hence V should be in positive YZ plane. So ultimately V will be E over B sin theta. So for V, when V to be minimum, sin theta should be maximum. So V minimum will be, sin theta maximum is 1, so V minimum will be E over B. So if this is the situation, then in that case the velocity will be minimum. So the particle must be projected at a minimum speed of E over B along positive z axis. Theta is 90 degree. Okay, because sin 90 is 1, so theta is 90 degree. So along positive z axis perpendicular to both, so positive z axis, because E is in x direction and B is in y direction. In question 19, we need to give example for which A dot B is equal to C dot B, but A and C are not equal. So this is the 19th one. So let's say we have a situation like this. This is A vector, this is B vector, and again this is B vector, but this is C vector. So what will happen? A is perpendicular to B, B is perpendicular to C. B is along west, A is along south, C is along north. So these two things we know. So A dot B will be 0 because cos 90 is 0, and B dot C will be 0 because cos 90 is 0. So therefore A dot B will be equal to B dot C. But A is obviously not equal to C because their directions are different. Although magnitudes are same, but directions are different. In question 20, we need to draw a graph from the following data. So this is the 20th one. So if you look closely on the data, you can easily see that y is equal to 2x square, and this is like a parabola. So the graph will be like a parabola, and the slope can be found out, or tan theta angle can be found out by differentiation, that is dy by dx. So d by dx, taking the differentiation, you will get 4x. So the graph will look something like this, parabolic graph. Remember, we have used this formula. for differentiation. In question 21, a curve is represented by y equal to sin x and x is changed from pi by 2 to pi by 3 plus pi by 100. So we need to find approximately the change in y. So the answer 21st, y is sin x. So let's say slight change in y will be there because of the slight change in x. So it is it can be put like this: del y equal to sin x plus del x minus y. Now we know that y is sin x, so sin x plus del x minus sin x. This will give you del y, change in the y. That is what we need to find. So we know that it is given that the value changes from pi by 3 to pi by 3 plus pi by 100. So sin pi by 3 plus pi by 100 minus sin pi by 3. Once you simplify this, you will find it is 0.0157. So this will be the change in y. In question 22, electric current is there in RC circuit. So it is given by I equal to I naught e to the power minus t over RC. We need to find the rate of current at different time intervals. 22nd, so current is I naught e to the power minus t over RC. So rate of current, that is di over dt. Rate of anything is that differentiation with time. So d over dt and I is I naught e to the power minus t over RC. I naught is constant. Let's take it outside. So ultimately we have to differentiate this. We know that differentiation of e to the power anything is e to the power the same thing, and this constant will come outside. So after differentiation we will have I naught over RC e to the power minus t over RC. So this is di over dt. First put t equal to 0, then put t equal to RC, then put t equal to 10 RC. Quite simple. Di by dt equal to minus I over RC. Di by dt equal to minus I over RC into E, and di over dt equal to minus I naught over RC e to the power 10. Just put the value of t. In question 23, electric current in discharging RC circuit is given, and we need to do the same thing. Here we need to find current at different time intervals and rate of change of current at different time intervals. So this is 23rd. Now here current is I naught e to the power minus t over RC. I naught is 2 ampere, which is the peak current. Resistance is 6 into 10 to the power minus 5 ohm. Then capacitance is 0.05 into 10 to the power minus 6 farad or 0.05 microfarad, or you can also write 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 farad. This is 0.5. So what we will have, first of all, current will be 2 e to the power minus 0.3 over 6 into 10 to the power minus 5 into 5 into 10 to the power minus 7. So once you simplify this, you will find it is 2 over E amperes. Rate of current, so di by dt, we will have I naught over RC e to the power minus t over RC. Time is 0.3 seconds, so di by dt minus 2 over 0.30 e to the power minus 0.3 over 0.3, so we will have minus 20 over 3 ampere per second. And lastly, at time t equal to 0.31 second, current will be 2 e to the power minus 0.3 over 0.3, which will give us 5.8 over 3 E ampere. This is 0.31. In question 24, we need to find area bounded under the curve y equal to 3x square plus 6x plus 7 and x-axis with ordinates x equal to 5 and x equal to 10. So this is the 24th one. Y is 3x square plus 6x plus 7. So we need to find the area 0 to y dy, 5 to 10, 3x square plus 6x plus 7. This range is given for x. So ultimately y will be equal to 3x cube over 3, where limit is 5 to 10 plus 5 x square over 3, limit 5 to 10 plus 5 7 x, limit 5 to 10. After putting everything, you will find y equal to 1135 square units. In question 25, we need to find area enclosed by curve y equal to sin x and x-axis between x equal to 0 and pi. 25th one, y equal to sin of x. So let's differentiate small part, integrate small part, sin x dx. So after differentiation it will become minus cos x. Let's put minus outside, and limit from 0 to pi. So when you put the limit, you will find that it is 2. So y is equal to 2. Area is 2. This is the area actually. This is the area, not y. Here y is there. This is y dy actually. In question 26, curve is y equal to e to the power minus x. So in this question, the curve is bound between x and y axis. First of all, y is given. Now let's say when x is 0, y will become e to the power minus 0, that is 1. So as x increase, y decrease, and as x when x is infinity, let's say x is infinity, at that place y will become 0. So area will be 0 to infinity e to the power minus x dx, because we are using limits of x. So it will be minus e to the power minus x 0 to infinity. So once you put the value, you will get 1. In question 27, rod is given and we need to find SI units of A and B and mass of rod. So this is the 27th one. Let's say this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Rod is like this. Let's take small region here. This is x equal to 1, this is x equal to 0. So we know that density is mass over length, linear density, A plus bx. Now SI unit of A will be same as that of bx. So the SI unit of A will be kilogram per meter, and for bx it will be obviously kilogram per meter. So for x it will be, for b it will be kilogram per meter square. Only after that you will get this thing. You can also imagine x going down, so it will have unit of meter because it is length. So these are the units. Next we need to find the mass. So mass can be found out by integration, taking the small region A plus bx into dx. So it will be ax plus bx square by 2, limit 0 to L. So mass will be Al plus Bl square over 2. In question 28, we have momentum P of particle and it changes with time. If momentum is 0 at t equal to 0, we need to find the momentum at t equal to 10 seconds. So question 28, dp over dt is given, change in rate of change of momentum is given 10 Newton plus 2 Newton per second into time. So momentum at t equal to 0, it is 0. We need to find momentum at t equal to 10 seconds. So let's integrate this and find integrating and finding momentum. So dp integration 10 Newton plus 2 Newton per second into t into dt. So let's integrate from 0 to p and 0 to 10 seconds. So it will be p equal to 10t 0 to 10 plus t square over 2 and into 2, so 2 and 2 will get cancelled out. So we will have this. So ultimately momentum will come out to be 200 kilogram meter per second. In question 29, the changes in function y and x are given, relation between them is given. We need to find function y as a function of x. So this is question 29. We have dy over dx equal to x square. So we need to find the relation between y and x. So dy equal to x square dx. Let's integrate this 0 to y and 0 to x. So it will give us y equal to x cube over 3 plus c. So this is the relation between x and y. In question 30, we need to find the number of significant digits in ABCD. So this is 30, question 30. First is 1001, second is 100.1, third is 100.10, fourth is 0.001001. So here we have 4 significant digits because all the values between two non-zero values are significant, and obviously non-zero values all are significant. Again here also 4 significant digits because 1 and 1 and zeros between will be significant. Here only we will have 5 significant digits, because after point all the zeros will be significant, and here we will have 4 significant digits, this 4 significant digits. In question 39, a meter scale is guaranteed at every millimeter. How many significant digits will be there in a length measurement with this scale? So this is question 31. So we know that in 1 meter we have 100 centimeters. In 1 meter we have 100 centimeter. And in terms of millimeter it is 1000 millimeters. So the minimum significant digits that we can have can be 1, okay, like 5 mm, 4 mm, like this. And maximum significant digit that we can have can be 4, like 1000 mm or 100 1025 mm, something like that. So you can go up to 4 significant digits. So the number of significant digits can be 1, 2, 3 or 4 depending on your calculation. In question 30 we need to round off the digits up numbers up to 2 significant digits. So this is 32nd. So first one is 3472. So we want it to be having only 2 significant digits, so the closest number to it is 3500, and these 2 values will be significant, so it will have 2 significant digits. For 84 it will remain 84 because it has 2 significant digits. For 2.6 it will remain 2.6 because it has 2 significant digits. So 84.16 becomes 84, and 2.55 will become 2.6, and finally in the last part value will be 28. So 28.5 will become 28. So we need to round off to the closest digit according to the number of significant digits required. Now let's start with question 30. Here the length and radius of cylinder are given. We need to find the volume of the cylinder. So L is 4.54 centimeter, R is 1.75 centimeter, volume is pi r square L, pi 4.54 1.75 whole square. So after simplifying this, 3.14 4.54 1.75 into 1.75, we will have 43.6577 centimeter cube. But we have to take only 3 digits because we have least number of significant digits, which are 3. So we will only take 3 significant digits, so it will become 43.7 centimeter cube. In question 34, thickness of glass plate is measured. Now we need to find average thickness. So this is the 34th one. So average thickness, (2.17) plus 2.17 plus 2.18 divided by 3, it will be 2.17333 mm, but we need to round off to 3 digits only. So 2.17 mm. In question 35 we have the length of string of simple pendulum which is given, radius is also given, we need to find effective length of pendulum. So this is the 35th question. So let's say situation is this is 90 centimeters and this is 2.13 centimeter. So ultimately effective length is 90 plus 2.13, but we can only take up to 2 significant digits because this is 90, so it will be 90 plus 2.1, so we will get 92.1 centimeter.